Good evening, darlings. You came back. We knew you would. Welcome to the second adventure of Skits and Quibbles. I actually realised that I have a dance for every situation. You know, when life hits you up and down, the best dance to do is English waltz. One step forward, one step side, close. You know, life is a bit like cha-cha. You know, if you're taking 2 steps back, it's not really, you know, you're not falling or failing. You're just dancing a cha-cha. There is a dance when I'm facing very important point every day, getting out of bed. Getting me out of bed is actually passo doble. And I'm doing my arms, my flamenco arms, and I'm doing my, you know, in passo doble you actually have to hold the posture a bit like that, like you're holding 50 pence between your butt cheeks. I like to imagine that I'm holding a £2 coin there because I like to add better value. Are we ready for our first act, our performing artist, for this fabulous occasion, for this fabulous adventure? Please welcome to the set one of my favourites, the Dark Sugar! Woo-hoo!
I'm an English queer Australian, which means that I positively hate myself. Yes. And I'm better than you in a relaxed way. Yeah. Well, back in Australia, they just call me a total country boy.
Oh!
Yeah. Yeah. You see, I'm like country folk. I'm as tough as nails, but mine is 9 inches long.
Woo!
Yeah, I grew up in 90s Australia talking about nines. And, you know, the barbecue's superb. The homophobia and racism, second to none. Really. We actually thought that bisexuals were a computer virus. You know what I'm saying? Like dangerous, unpredictable, very sticky on the keyboard. Yeah. I had to hide my gayness, you know, as a working class kid, deeper than a queen's nutsack. Even Narnia was like, sorry, where is this closet? So, yeah, let's talk a bit about my favourite topic, me. Yeah. And so at the age of 22, I moved here with my Aussie girlfriend. And, you know, this is before the moustache. I didn't know my elbow from my ass. And we thought together we were going to have, like, the kids, house, job. I was actually just left with sequins, wine, and a knob. So if you just take the camera and kind of zoom into Kent, the Garden of England. Yes. And then go to Medway. It's the Garden of Chevs. We had a perfect little apartment, didn't we? Just down the street from my sister, and I had a minimum wage job in a bank, and I just wanted to kill myself. Yeah, it's very strange. Thomas, can you process this transaction? Why do I exist? Okay, bye. This was only the first of many mental health challenges which I've faced, and the second part, very important, overcome. And I narrated all of them like a BBC commentator. Yes. Biased and conservative. So yeah, I've got a little song I want to sing, and it's on the topic of suicide. You know, it's like the elephant in the room that's got a really big tusk for middle-aged men, because it kind of waits until you're over a barrel to appear. Well, I tell you what, let's change this thing, and I'm going to sing you a song. Ciao! I'm your babe, Dark Sugar, and I'm going to be singing my original comedy song about suicide. Whoops. And it's called Too Strong. Hit it. I always said it won't happen to me, that awful end. I'm just too strong, you see, when it all feels pointless. Can't get out of bed. The most loving voices fill your lungs with dread. take a pill, make a wish, write a note. Any old method you please. There's always a road to freedom. It's right under your sleeves. Take a break, have a chat, take a walk, pat a cat. Any old method you choose. There's always a road to freedom when you've got the blues. I always said it's not an option. Choose to be dead. Now I've forgotten. Hit it. Find comfort in alcohol or in a computer screen. It's a masturbation joke. Whatever poison you choose, there's really nothing to lose. Or is there? Use a knife, take a pill, make a wish, write a note. Any old method you please. There's always a road to freedom. It's right under your sleeves. Cut, cut. Whoops. Take a break, have a chat, take a walk, pat a cat. Any old method you choose. There's really no need to end it when you've got the blues. And it all feels good. You must embrace it. This life will only be just what you make it. Find comfort in life itself. And giving to someone else. Do the thing you love, or perhaps a bit of drugs. You know? Use a rope, take a jump, take a walk and die. Kids off the car and drive off the cliff. Have a wank, use a bag, overdose and die. Whoops. Head in the oven and turn on the gas. There's a chicken in here. Any old method you please. There's always a road to freedom. It's right under your sleeves. Cut, cut. Whoops. I always said it won't happen to me. No, 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 no. That awful end. Because I'm just too strong. You see, that awful end. I'm just too strong. Yes. Wait, am I? Oh shit. You know what? I'm on the edge. And I need a friend. That awful end. And I'm feeling too strong. You see, that awful end. No, baby, I just kinda need a hug. I don't wanna end up dead. Thank you, loves.
In the ideal world where people would be dressing, speaking, thinking, anything totally free, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What is that ideal world? Because you alluded to it. You know, you dress the way you dress, and it's your artistic expression, really. It is part of the character that you play in the society where we are all coping in our own ways. It is strategies and stuff. So that is your strategy. But imagine now there's no limit. What is your ideal?
Sure. Well, I feel like I'm a part of creating the utopia that I want to live in. So
that's beautiful. Love it. Oh my.
For me, it's about like integrating queerness into society, and so that it's just a normal part.
Darlings, and we have a performer now who's come all the way from France. Please welcome to the set, Cedric Aubert! Woo! Oh la la!
Hello, hey, hi, I am Cedric, born and raised in France, in a place that I call the Croydon of Paris. For people, if you're watching from the US, it's the Baltimore of France. I was born over there, but I live all my adult life here in England, which makes me a frog and a roast beef. A frost beef. I think after so long, I got the best of both worlds. I am arrogant, but I keep on apologizing about it. I think I'm better than all of you. Sorry. I also now queue. More importantly, I stay in the queue. But whilst I am in the queue, I'm thinking, queue. I had a funny upbringing. When I was 10. The doctor, he told me that I was obese. He said, if you carry on like this, you're going to have high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. So the 10-year-old me asked him, how do you cook it, doctor? Because it sounds delicious. With olive oil, a bit of butter, you know, salt, pepper. I remember I will come back from school. I will go in my room to play with my G.I. Joe toys action figure. G.I. Joe, Jojo. You know, I will play for hours. I will play like, poo, 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 take that. Da, pa, pa, punch kick, punch kick, punch kick, pa, 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 pa. Eh, eh. No one is looking, let's kiss. Don't you think it's a bit gay? Oh, shut up, kiss me. French kiss. Oh man, I would play for hours with these toys. Hours. Till my mom threw them away. I was only 17. Just a boy. And I thought maybe it's time, just maybe it's time to get out of the house and find a girlfriend, maybe, you know. And I tried, but I was not very good with the ladies. But when I came here in England, it changed. It changed. Every single people was telling me, French accent. Sexy. I believed it, so I went into a pub one day, and I saw someone that I like, and I went to talk to her, and I did what at the time was a very, very attractive walk. Chest up, bum out, smooth, very smooth. Hello, how are you doing? She was not a child, she was sitting, just recreating the situation and diffusing the tension, apparently. Her name, she was called Emily. She was from Yorkshire. Wow, she was so beautiful. Emily, she was hot, and we had the most passionate relationship for 3 months. But she broke my heart. Ultimately, she broke my heart. And I wanted more Emily in my life. I really wanted more Emily in my life. So I went all through the United Kingdom, everywhere. I went in Leicester. I went in Worcester. I went in your sister. Sorry. I ultimately met the person who is my wife today. We've been married 15 years. And 15 years, you didn't know, but 15 years is the year of crystal. And the tradition is to bring something of crystal to your wife, to your partner. So I decided to take it one step further, and I brought Crystal home. A very talented lap dancer. Surprise. No, I didn't do that. But I could have. But it's important, guys. If you're in a relationship, it's very important to keep the spice in the bedroom. Spice in the bedroom. We try quite a few things. We try bondage. Highly recommend it. Make sure she unties you before she goes to work. Longest 6 hours of my life. Open marriage is not for everyone. My wife is having a great time. Me, not so much. Leaves me with porn. I don't like porn that much. I find it sad. He also leaves me with a sticky hand and a bitter taste. No, seriously, we discussed open marriage very seriously, but we didn't have the emotional capabilities to take it on. So we did the next best thing. We did the what is it called? The whole pass. We did the whole pass. We wrote 3 famous people each. We can sleep with them, no accountability whatsoever. So my wife, she wrote Leonardo DiCaprio. Not to worry about Leo, because my wife, she's more than 25. She wrote Brad Pitt. Now, I want to say, if my wife sleep with Brad Pitt, I will be the one bragging about it. my wife, she sleep with Brad Pitt. You know what? My wife, she sleep with Brad Pitt. I also probably will join them, you know. My body, my choice. And finally, and I thought I knew why, but apparently not at all. She wrote Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. He's funny, he's clumsy, he reminds me of someone. No, not at all. She fantasizes about a man who doesn't talk. I talk too much, she says. But that's her list. My list is a lot more simple. She's a lot more simple. I wrote Shakira. She paid her taxes recently, which is great. And she also single at the moment, which increases my chances of waka waka, you know. I'm working on it, so don't judge me right now. I wrote Keira Knightley. Oh. Yeah, thank you. I find her super beautiful. I love her, actually. And finally, this is my choice, and I know it's quite controversial, especially nowadays, I wrote Priti Patel. But hear me out, you know. I find her she's super pretty. She has beautiful face. She has all the shape where I like them. She look rough and tough, my kind of woman. The kind of woman that would spank you really hard and send you all paid for on an exotic country.
Cedric.
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing, amazing. You can be funny in
Good
one language. You can be funny in another language.
Yes.
And so your mother tongue is French.
Absolutely, yes.
And do you think in French or do you think in English?
I tend to think and dream in English now. Yes.
Right. So do you make love in French or do you make love in English?
Oh, that's a very good question. French, obviously.
So you are a bit of a manipulator of a situation to your advantage. So your key message there, even though, yes, the jokes come to you, you know, you think in English when you make jokes.
Yeah, you know, it's usually I think about jokes when I'm in the shower, so they just come like an epiphany.
Are you ready, darlings, to welcome the next comedian? And he comes all the way from London. Please welcome to the set, Wes Defoe. Yay!
So, how are we doing, people? Yeah! That's what we like to hear. That's what we like. You know what? That response right there, that's one of the main reasons I love doing stand-up. Because where else can you ask the question, how are you? And woo is acceptable. Where? I don't know, maybe a crack house? But in normal life, where are you going to, like, you can't do that in the office, can you? You can't be by the printer. Oh, good morning, Dawn. How are you? Whoa! I was thinking about this recently. I was thinking about school. Because I feel like teachers are their own species. Like, they've got their own language. They've got their own slang with each other. Like, a teacher would never say thank you to another teacher. Instead, they'll say something like, you're a star. And there's me flipping through my textbook, a star? Huh, must be a red dwarf. Teacher would never say free child labour. Instead, they'll say something like, sorry to interrupt, just looking to steal a couple of big, strong boys. Anybody Any big strong boys here be able to help out with a secret task? Here's one we can all relate to. Everyone had that teacher that acted like leaning on your chair was the equivalent of freebasing cocaine. You're in class, you're bored, you're like, let me lean on my chair, no big deal, right? And at that exact moment, the teacher will disappear from the whiteboard and reappear next to the window. You remind me of a boy I once knew. Timmy, I think it was. Ah, yes. Chipper chap, old Timmy. Always swinging on that goddamn chair. Reckless. Until one day, he smashed his head on the table. Did he die? He wished. The blunt force trauma made it so he couldn't pass a single exam, which we all know is the most important thing in life, isn't it? Yes. He grew up jobless and poor. Things took a turn for the better for Timmy. He met his wife, Lily. They had 3 children. They were happy. And then all of a sudden, BAM! AIDS. And there's nothing funny about that. His wife took the kids in the house and he spent the rest of his days alone. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Stop swinging on the chair. And you never believe him, do you? You go to your friend, you're like, that story's not real. That story is real. How do you know, sir? Because I'm Timmy! I'm Timmy. Oh, God, no. What have I done? Oh. Lily, no. Oh, God, the children. Oh, fuck. Are you all right, sir? Woo! Woo! Bit more about me. I'm 27 and I still haven't learned how to drive. And you know what? I hate that people try and make me feel bad about it. Like, because when I tell people I can't drive, they act like I've just said, it's ridiculous. Deep down, I'm terrified of becoming a motorhead, and I'll explain. You guys know what a motorhead is, right? Yeah. Those guys that love cars a little bit too much, you know? They don't love cars. They love cars. All they think about is cars. All they talk about is cars. It's literally all they car about. And you know what? I don't respect it. You know? Don't know what it is. It freaks me out. Oddly sexual. Nah, keep that. Yeah? And I'll tell you something. There's at least one motorhead at every given workplace. At my last job, this guy would trap me in a corner and start showing me pictures of cars on his phone, like it's porn. Talking all that sexual motorhead mumbo jumbo jive, but I don't know what any of those words mean. So to me, it just sounds like, oh, look at that car there. Look at that car. Right. Right, see that car right there, right? That's the car I've got right now, right? Solid car. Don't get me wrong, right? But that car there, now that's a car. That is a car. Look at that. Oh. Look at that car. Look at that bit of that car there. Oh. Look at the inside of that car. Oh. Such a car. Such a car. I don't care. Well, I don't care what anyone says. I'm not becoming that guy. So the lessons can wait. So a bit more about me. I'm from Caribbean descent. Bomba Clan. And yeah, thank you. Yes, I am from Caribbean descent. Booyakasha. And when you're from Caribbean descent and you've got Caribbean parents, you get quite a strict upbringing. Has anyone else had quite a strict upbringing here? Anyone? Yep, we've got a few. We've got some trauma in the room. It's nice. It's nice to know there's some trauma in the room. You know, you ever had it where you react to something your parents said and then you realize, oh, my life's on the line now. My life. Would happen to me all the time. I'll be in my room playing Crash Bandicoot. Mum will come in. Wesley, I thought I told you to clean this room. This room is a mess. Get off that game and clean it now. All right, Mum, after this level. No, I said now. But it won't save. It won't save. You turn it off or I'll turn it off. And all I could think to do to get myself out of that guaranteed death sentence was to just act like I was beatboxing the whole time. It's just... It's tidy up time. It's tidy up time. It's tidy up time. It's tidy up time. I love my mommy.
Now, 27 years old.
Yes.
How big is your trauma?
Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know. I think trauma is only trauma when you realise it's trauma. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yes.
So, you know, it can be someone having something bad happen to them and then they share it with their friends as though it's normal. And then they're like, whoa, that's not normal. Then it becomes trauma. So, as far as... like my parents and stuff like that, it's pretty standard. It hasn't really affected me consciously. So
yes.
Yeah, and I love them. They love me. Like I don't want the social services to come around. I think I'm a bit too old for that anyway.
Yes, yes, you are.
A bit too late. The government.
Too late to blame your parents for the rest of your life.
Yeah, should have called them sooner.
Wonderful. And if you were to change one thing about your inner dialogue throughout your long 20 and mature 27 years, what would you change right now?
About my inner dialogue? Mm-hmm. I would say I would bring freedom into the equation earlier in my life, in terms of how I want to live my life and my purpose is thinking about it a lot earlier and thinking like, how is it that I want to spend every minute? Because in the beginning parts of my life, I wasn't really spending much time on that question. So really asking myself, like, what is it that brings me joy? And how can I really, like, position myself in a way that would allow me to be in that space as much as possible?
And as always at Groovie Bunch, we attempt to balance things in the industry. We know from last time that less than 20% are women. Well, tonight it's pretty much close to 50%. We've got 50% women in the studio. Woo, woo, woo! So, let's go with our lovely first lady of the night. Well, one of them is a host, one of them is a producer, so you don't see, one of them is invisible. But please welcome to the set, Audaciously Maz!
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, thank you. It's great to see all of you here tonight, because if you think about it, up until last year, we were still subject to the lockdown restrictions. Do you remember? Yeah, completely ruined my love life. I mean, it wasn't good before, but it was even worse afterwards, you know what I mean? I mean, have you any idea what it's like to have to make yourself breakfast in bed and pretend to be surprised the next day? No, it's not easy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have tried to put myself out there. I've been on all those dating websites, Plenty of Fish, Tinder, all of those. In fact, some of them have been a bit like you, sir, making eyes at me, playing hard to get. Yeah. I mean, what has the world come to when you can't even go down to the park and pull the local alky? Do you know what I mean? No, I did. I tried it the other day. Gave him the sexy walk. I even gave him the slut drop for extra measure. Yeah. He just ran right out the park and left his bottle. Do you know what I mean? So once again, I was left drinking alone, contemplating my life choices. But I am trying to adjust to this post-COVID lifestyle. It's really hard because everything's changed. You know, like the whole shopping experience. Because listen, I went in Poundland the other day, and Poundland ain't Poundland no more. Now, I know you shop at Waitrose, but, you know, just bear with me. I picked up 5 items, barely got changed from a 20. Can you believe that? Because I think they should rebrand and just call themselves Lucky Dip or something like that. Never know what you're going to get. And I don't like the bigger supermarkets, do you know what I mean? because they've got all those self-service checkouts. And I don't like it because that machine tells everyone your business. Do you know what I mean? It's true. I was trying to pack my shopping away the other day and it said, unidentified item in the bagging area. And before I know it, the shopping assistants, they came over checking my bags. It's like you can't even nick nothing in peace no more. Do you know what I mean? It's not right. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I've been reflecting. Does anyone else do this? Do you take an audit of your life and try and improve? Lying bastards, they don't. But I do. And I've just come to the conclusion, we need to embrace our authentic selves. Yeah, so if you've put on a bit of weight like me, it's all right, embrace it. Yeah, you've got grey hair on your head, it's okay, don't dye it. I've got a few grey hairs. You can't see them here, but down there, it's like a skunk. Yeah. Because that's what they say, innit? It's okay not to be okay. But the only thing is, whenever I try and express myself, I get told, you're off your head. You wonder why you ain't got any mates. You've crossed the line. And I reply back to my therapist, you can't judge me. I'm a paying customer, you know what I mean? And then she's all like, how the hell did you get in my car? I'm calling the police. She's so sensitive. Yeah. I'm just wondering, oh, you're a lovely lot, but do any of you still work from home? Anyone still working from home at the moment? Oh, really? You, handsome, at the back, what do you do?
I'm a music producer.
Oh, I see. Money launderer, yes. Because, you know, like Forbes, they did a report on you guys. They said that people that work from home are allegedly dating and having sex and working on their side hustle in company time. Is that true? Scandalous. Yeah, no wonder the boss wants us back at work. Yeah, because I did struggle with the whole working from home thing, because I was believing all the conspiracy theories at first, you know. I was looking out the window for hours awaiting the alien abduction, you know. And then when I was working on the laptop, I had to wear about 10 different masks because it said my antivirus protection had ran out. You know what I mean? I wasn't taking any chances. But yeah, that's what we've turned into, isn't it? A nation of hypochondriacs. Because if you get ill nowadays, you've got to stipulate it ain't COVID. It's true, isn't it? People think that's what you've got. But you know, I struggled with the transition back to the office. I did. Did you find it hard? Yeah. Well, you don't work, do you, babe? But, you know. I'm not judging. No. But, like, I was getting confused because I didn't have a lot to wear. Well, I kept coming in my nightie. I say nightie, I mean lingerie. HR kept pulling me over saying, Maz, that is not appropriate attire for the workplace. Maz, that's not the way to get a promotion. But how was I supposed to know? Do you know what I mean? Times have changed, didn't they? But I suppose one good thing is that my colleagues are more courteous now. They never used to be. They keep checking in with me. In fact, sometimes it's a bit excessive. Keep saying to me, Maz, are you all right? How's things at home? Everything all right? You all right, Maz? I said, well, if you must know, I've got a lot of unresolved trauma, some daddy issues and an alcohol problem. How are you? Yeah. I mean, they don't really ask me to sit with them anymore, but, you know. My boss, he's also the same. Really kind guy. He's a northerner. You know, have we got any northerners in here? No, of course not. Far too quiet, aren't they? Because with northerners, you hear them, don't you, before you see them. They say northerners are friendly, didn't they? But I've got a theory about that. It's not that they're friendly. It's just that they're nosy bastards want to know your business. That's all it is. But anyway, yeah, my boss, lovely guy from Yorkshire. He sat me down the other day. He said, I want you to know I don't see colour. That's what he said to me. Yeah. I said, what, are you a dog or something, boss? Yeah. Because, you know, it could be quite dangerous if he's driving home, couldn't it, you know? He said, no, that's not what I mean. With you being a certain type of lass, I got something you might like. I said, if you're coming on to me, you better back off. You ain't my type. He said, no. I've got a promotion and we want you to go for it. So I said to him, okay, I get you. Because I'm the same, I don't see status. And with you being a fella, getting paid twice as much as me for doing half the job, you might want to make my wages match yours. Yeah, I told him. I mean, I didn't get the promotion, but it was worth a try, do you know what I mean? Yeah, ladies, single ladies, do you remember? It's so hard to meet men nowadays. Back in the day, I used to meet all men on Crime Watch, you know. It's much easier. Yeah, they should bring that show back, because if you were lucky, you used to be able to find your long-lost relatives. Yeah, I was always calling the Crime Stoppers numbers. I said, have you seen my dad? Send him home, we miss him. Yeah, he's still not home, but, you know, it's not easy. Do you ever feel like no one knows your name? As if no one cares? Or if something were to happen to you, no one would know you exist? What, just me then? Yeah. Well, guess what? I didn't need to worry about none of that, because I ain't paid my bills for the last year. And guess what? It turns out that everyone knows who I am.
What are the quirky bits about you, and you know, what you've been kind of brought up to believe are the good kind of human bits, where you are caring about people, where you're showing that you are human? What would you say are quirky, because they're different about you and your traditional upbringing and your family?
Yeah, well, similar to Wes, actually, I had Caribbean upbringing.
Yes!
So, you know, but I always say, Gordy, whether it's your religion, your traditions, whatever it is, if it oppresses you, leave it behind. And that's what I've had to do, because that's why I'm the black sheep. So in order to maintain my own well-being and those of others, that's exactly what I've done. And it's very empowering. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I do that through whether I'm doing comedy or whether I'm coaching or, you know, helping someone through counselling, whatever it is I'm doing, whatever modality, I hope I can be a blessing in some shape or form.
And we have our final lady performer. She's our queen of improv, and her name is Courtney Cornfield.
I was so excited because I bought this little this sort of thing of clothing on Etsy, and I was so excited. But now when I look in the mirror, I think I look a bit like Fred Flintstone. But that would explain why I'm getting attitude from my Hoover. But speaking of clothes, as every good woman does leading up to Christmas, I was looking for an elf costume. Not that. No, I do elf gigging around, so I help local Santa Clauses with their Christmas duties. Now, this is the thing I find with most things that involve costumes with women. Every women's costume is sexual. Now, Halloween, yes, we got the sexy nurse, the sexy doctor. You don't get sexy accountant, though. But I think there's scope for that. It's like, would you like to know what's between my spreadsheets? Do you want to split some cells with me? All the men's elf costumes are like, hey, 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 look at me. I'm a wacky elf. All the women's elf costumes like, oh. Do you want to stuff my stocking? This is the extent at my age of sexy. Are you ready for my sexy? Oh, yeah. Okay, men, get the ice water ready just in case. That is the height of sexy. So I don't really want to do the sexy elf thing. But anyway, I got an elf costume and it's fine. Speaking of sexy, I am 50, divorced, and so I had a lot of therapy to deal with the divorce. And she kept saying, my therapist always said, looking back on your journey, it's always a journey. You know, it wasn't a journey. It was a real replacement service. Would you have done anything differently when you got divorced? I said, yes, I would have divorced a banker. But on that mental health note, I do have a lot of neurodiversity, so this is all true. I'm not punching down for the sake of a joke. This is my life. So I have ADHD, and I had it before it was cool. I was diagnosed in the 80s. And everyone was like, what is that? I was like, huh? Oh, you poor thing. I'm like, I got prescription amphetamines. My performance in phys ed went woo through the roof. Helped me run really fast. But basically, people say, well, what does it mean when you have ADHD? I'm like, okay, so put it in simple terms. If I was a criminal, I would be part of a disorganized crime ring. I have dyslexia and OCD. And sometimes with the dyslexia, OCD is COD. Now, OCD, people are like, oh, that's a really... That can be quite a debilitating anxiety disorder. I mean, how do you feel about that? And I say, well, you know what? It's actually okay because I don't need to pay a lot of money or sign a lot of waivers to get an adrenaline rush. No. All I need is a few intrusive thoughts, and I also just need to be halfway to work and convince myself I've left the coffee pot on and I am alive. Bad adrenaline surge. Whew. God. I'm also lactose intolerant. That's not a neurodiversity. I'm lactose intolerant. After I had my third child, I became lactose intolerant. And I joke and say it's because he's the milkman's child and it's my punishment. He's not. But anyway, it was the postman's. So I have a boyfriend and I met him the old-fashioned way, online. It wasn't the simplest journey because, as everyone knows, it's a minefield out there. Not to be confused with a minefield. Anyway, sorry. I met a few weirdos. I mean, I'm one of the weirdos, but these ones were worse. The one guy I met that really was poignant. He had a minge fetish, I think. My hair was it's spoiler alert, not my real color. So we were chatting, and he's like, so, if I was to meet you, would I be greeted with a laminate entrance or a red carpet greeting? He wanted to see if the carpet and the curtains matched. I was like, a laminate entrance? No, I don't wax anymore. I had a bad experience with waxing. I said to the waxing lady, don't take it all off, which she thought I said, take it all off. I've seen Sphinx cats that were cuddlier after that one. So no, there's no laminate entrance. And then I was like, red carpet, oh, this guy's just weird. Like, why am I thinking about this? And after I thought about it, I thought, I've had 3 kids. One of them was 10 pounds. I'm more a refurbished floorboard. I think I'm going to leave you with that lovely imagery of my hoo-ha. Thank you. You have been fantastic.
So, divorce.
Yeah.
Single mum.
Absolutely.
What is your superpower apart from, like, my God, you stashed them up? You know, everybody has like 1 or 2 superpowers. You had to stash them up.
And I have a very, very active brain. I get distracted by my intrusive thoughts, and then my intrusive thoughts, I get distracted and wander off. It's when the OCD and the ADHD merge. It's sort of like the Northern Line when it gets to Mornington Crescent.
Got it.
Dopamine
I think
and
I've got elements of
serotonin
that too,
kind of-
yeah.
Yeah, so I need something to completely cleanse. Yoga makes me giggle. So when they're all like, listen to your body, and usually I have wind or...
What if you're a donut? You
Yeah.
don't have the center.
Exactly. Yeah, and so weightlifting is what got me through. I have lots of great friends. Comedy writing,
Yes.
just journaling. You know, and every time I went on an online date that didn't work, I just used it as material. I thought maybe I'd write a one-woman show about it. So when I met my boyfriend quite soon, after being online, I was a bit disappointed because there goes all my material fodder.
Please give all your love to our headliner, really. I mean, everybody was a headliner. Everybody. But this is our celebrity guest. And his name is Marc Jackson Barrows, Marc JB.
Let's have a chat.
You are real. You are here.
I've got an idea, Gordana.
Yes.
And the idea is that we have a chat
Yes.
about well-being, and also I was very inspired about the journey that we had here.
Yes.
Being in a car with a load of professional comedians, I got a lot of insights. So, and then I thought we'd try and set a new Guinness World Record
Yes.
by having the most amount of comedians turned into an instrument. Does that sound good?
Most number of instruments.
Is everybody up for that?
in the comedian?
Yeah,
Oh
good.
my gosh! And how do we apply for the Guinness World of Records? Because there
Oh,
are-
you can do that afterwards. It's extensive paperwork, but I'm sure it'll be no problem.
we would love that.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
How do you reach that level of understanding with somebody when it just time is relative? You know?
Being able to do this. Yeah.
I'll do it in the opposite direction and 3 times as slow.
Because it's fun, right? and if you're doing that, time is actually different to when you're being serious and all the chaos is just getting at you.
Yes.
So, yeah, time is elastic or just doesn't exist at all.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a minute feels like an hour, sometimes an hour feels like a minute.
And how do you enjoy the present? How do you bring it more? How do you embrace it more? What would be your little tricks of trade?
Community, getting to know people, being open to having chats and really getting to know people. And that one of my passions for myself is creating safe space around myself, being a safe person that people can open up to. And the more successful I'm at that, people are just opening up more and more with their life traumas, and I find a good space to be in there is neutrality. So I used to be a complete rescuer. Like like the bigger the project, the more interested I was at getting involved. You know, I had a real saviour complex. But now I kind of more in like a witnessing place where I people tell me stuff and I'm not projecting anything on them, because people there's a wonderful thing called feather brick truck, right? So the universe comes
Sounds
on.
like paper scissors.
Yeah.
Is that it?
So,
I don't even know how to play it.
This is one of the keys and tools that I had to get out of codependency. And
Codependency.
and yes.
You just triggered me.
So first the universe comes along and tickles you with the feather. It says, "Mark, you've got this problem and you're not looking at it. I'm gonna create this little situation here that tickles you. And if you don't get it, the universe then comes and throws a brick at you." That's it. It says, "Come on, Mark, you've got this happening at you, and you've got this that you're not looking at. Maybe you're like trying to validate yourself in a situation, and you're really not helping yourself. So the universe starts throwing bricks. Then it starts throwing trucks at you, and you basically get hit by trucks. You know, we're talking like serious health scare or some horrendous family situation, until you actually wake up that you need to change this, and you need to change yourself." And the whole of life will change around you. When you think about the world and all of the advertising out there, all the branding, all of the guidelines, the policy, that's made by genius people. They get the best people in those positions. So we are having to constantly live a life surrounded in this great big system which is designed to keep us down and in the system by absolute genius, top of their game people. You know, you've got the advertising world is full of, you know, hypnotists and psychotherapists and branding strategists, blah blah blah, and they're all there to make sure that we are numbed and distracted as much as possible. So to hit rock bottom, the great thing that can happen there is you basically crack open. And by cracking open, just the entire the entire makeup of everything that we have, which has been given to us by all these geniuses in society, it just breaks apart, and then we just lose everything. You just give everything up, and from there you can find your authentic self. And then from that authentic self, you can pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and then start to find a new way. And it's so scary because all these trappings that we have in life are such a big comfort. And also what happens is when you crash and then you pick yourself up and then you start creating yourself again in an authentic way, because it is actually possible to design the way that you turn up in life, which is just a beautiful thing. The scary thing, though, about doing that is that the entire environment around you starts changing. So once you've changed yourself inside, everything starts reflecting. So people move away from you, situations start changing, jobs drop away, and then you're just looking around and it's bleak. And it's, where's everybody gone? But then the new authentic things start coming in slowly. If there's anybody watching this and is at rock bottom, there's a potential to remake yourself from here.
So it's kind of like scientists, you know, there has to be break from the old, because energy, you can't create it, you can't destroy it. It just transcends into another shape and form. So to free up some of these lovely particles that will make something fresh, you've got to have explosion, break away with the old.
Yeah, and there's good news.
The new kind of just forms.
Yeah.
Then new atoms, electrons form new bonds.
And then there's really good news about all the trauma we've been through and all the suffering that we've been through actually being a gift. Because when we've picked ourselves up and we found our authentic expression, our authentic creative expression, which can only be found through engaging the imagination and the passion, and also just doing things when you really feel like this is really what I want to do in the moment, is that all that we've been through, it gives us understanding for everybody else who's going through the same thing. Yes. So it's like a massive leveler. There's no one higher or lower. There's no king. There's no, you know, person on the street. Everybody is like, we're all human. It's team humanity here. It's like a level playing ground. So first you get this compassion and understanding, because we've been through it self. So we can, you know, that gives us the privileged position of actually being able to chat with someone and actually feel what they're going through. And that's like a beautiful thing, I think, for us. And the second thing is that all of that can go into creativity. So we have here 5 professional comedians, and we'll be going for the first Guinness World Record of creating an instrument from 5 professional comedians. So can I start with you? Could you just go dum, dum, dum? That's it. And can you go gang, 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 do, 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 do. Dong, 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 dong. Dong, dong, dong. Okay, now you can start to improvise and just change the rhythms a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our wonderful professional comedians. Thank you very much.
Audaciously Maz, Courtney Cornfield, Dr. Sugar, Wes Defoe, and our lovely Marc JB. Thank you so much.